Okay, so everyone's always chasing more time, right? Like there's never enough hours in the day.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So we asked you for your best time management tips
Mm-hmm.
to really get a handle on things. And wow, you guys delivered
That's awesome.
some seriously smart strategies in here. We're going to dive into those today, see which ones really click
Okay.
and how to, actually use them without turning into some kind of, I don't know, productivity robot.
Right, yeah, because who wants to be a robot,
Right.
right?
Exactly. Got to live a little. Okay, so one theme that popped up a lot was about prioritizing.
Makes sense.
It's like everyone's saying, focus on the most important tasks first.
Right.
Sounds great in theory, but like, how do you actually do that
Yeah.
when everything feels urgent?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, how do you even choose?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. So how do we cut through the noise?
Well, I think it starts with taking a step back
Okay.
from that, like, to-do list overwhelm
Yeah.
and thinking bigger picture, what are your actual goals? What really matters to you in the grand scheme of things? Because if you can figure that out,
Yeah.
even just roughly, it's like you've got this filter
Okay.
for your to-do list. Suddenly, it's not just a jumble.
Interesting.
Stuff actually falls into place. Does this get me closer to what I actually care about?
Yeah.
Or is this just busy work? And honestly, letting go of things that don't pass that test.
Oh, letting go, that's hard.
I know, right? But it's so freeing once you do it.
Yeah, it's almost like permission to say no.
Exactly. Permission to focus on what matters.
I like that. So we're prioritizing getting crystal clear on our goals. What's next in our time-taming toolkit?
Well, once you know what to focus on, it's all about making time for it, right?
Right. And that brings us to the amazing and maybe a little intimidating world of time blocking.
Yes. Time blocking.
I've dabbled, but I'm curious to hear your take. How do you actually use it effectively?
So instead of letting your day just happen to you, with time blocking, you're like taking the reins.
Yeah, I love that idea. Being the architect of your own time.
That's it. So you sit down, maybe it's Sunday night, you look at your week, and you actually block out time for everything.
Everything.
Well, the important stuff at least. Your work tasks, your personal appointments, even downtime.
Okay, but realistically, how do you stay flexible?
Because life throws curveballs, right?
Constantly.
Yeah.
Meetings get rescheduled, kids get sick.
Mm.
It's chaos.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. That's why I always build in buffer time.
Buffer time. Tell me more.
So between tasks, blocks, whatever, I leave myself extra space.
Right?
Like if I think something's going to take an hour, I block out 75 minutes just in case.
Smart. That way a little overage doesn't throw everything off.
Exactly. And then if nothing explodes, hey, bonus 15 minutes to chill or get ahead.
See, now you're talking my language. Okay, next up we've got to tackle a big one, the multitasking myth.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
I used to think I was like a multitasking master,
Really?
juggling emails, phone calls, you name it. Turns out our brains just don't work that way, huh?
Yeah, sadly, we're not wired for that kind of juggling act.
Yeah.
Studies have shown that multitasking actually makes us less efficient.
Less efficient. How
Mhm.
so?
Well, when we try to do multiple things at once, our attention is split.
Okay.
And when our attention is split, we're not giving any one task our full focus.
Right, right.
So we end up making more mistakes. It takes us longer to complete tasks.
It makes sense when you put it like that.
Yeah, it's much more effective to focus on one thing at a time, get it done right, and then move on to the next.
So it's about quality over quantity, really focusing on one thing at a time.
Exactly. Quality focus.
Got it. Now, deadlines. They could be either motivating or totally demoralizing.
Oh, for sure.
So many of the tips we got stressed setting realistic deadlines, which is key.
Definitely. You don't want to set yourself up for failure from the start.
Right. But how do we find that balance between pushing ourselves and, not going overboard?
One technique that I find really helpful is breaking down large tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks.
Okay, manageable chunks. I like that.
Yeah, so instead of having this one massive deadline looming over you,
Yeah, it's way less intimidating.
exactly, you break it down into smaller steps, and each of those steps gets its own mini deadline.
So it's like creating a roadmap for yourself with milestones along the way.
Exactly. And it's amazing how motivating those smaller wins can be.
I bet. Okay, last but not least, we got to talk about breaks.
Oh, yes. Breaks are so important.
I know, but I think it's something a lot of people struggle with. We're so used to just pushing through.
Yeah, the hustle mentality.
Exactly. But you're saying it's actually crucial to factor in downtime.
Absolutely. Think of your brain like a muscle. You wouldn't expect to work out nonstop without a break, right?
Right, you'd be totally burned out.
Same goes for our brains. They need time to rest and recharge so we can come back refreshed and ready to focus.
So breaks aren't just about slacking off. They're a strategic investment in our productivity.
Exactly. They're strategic.
I like it. Any favorite break strategies you use? I've been digging the Pomodoro technique lately.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic for a reason. I personally love to just step away from my desk, maybe go for a quick walk outside, get some fresh air.
Oh, fresh air works wonders.
It really does. Clears your head, gives you a new perspective.
It's like hitting the reset button.
Exactly.
Okay, so much good stuff here is almost overwhelming itself.
Ah, right back where we started.
Exactly. But I think the key takeaway is these are tools, not rules. Right?
Yes. Find what works for you.
Experiment, figure out what helps you feel more in control of your time, your energy, all of it.
And don't be afraid to adjust as needed. Life changes, so your time management strategies can too.
So true. It's all about finding that sustainable rhythm.
Or absolutely. And just imagine if, with all these tips, you could find even 30 minutes extra in your day. What would you do with that time? Something to think about.
Ooh, good question. I know what I'd do. Probably take a nap. Thanks for the deep dive. This was awesome.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Until next time.
See you later.